Hello and welcome to this edition of the GTAS podcast, also known as Guys Talking About Shit podcast, being recorded on March 10th, 2018. I'm Bob Brusen and I'm joined by the always disputable Adam Millar.
What's going on?
Adam, what have you been doing? Because you were telling me before the show started you were having the most miserable day, and that you're like, I'm gonna bitch about it on the show. I'm like, okay, I'll let you have your platform. Yeah, so okay. What are you gonna talk about?
Okay, so what you're about to hear is partially my fault and partially not my fault. The part that is my fault is that I got a letter from the DMV on January 9th saying that they were suspending my registration for a car that I keep in storage during the winter. And I didn't do anything about it until this weekend.
Way to go. Well, okay, so there's that part's kind of on you.
But yes, that part's on me. The problem is that on January 9th, they claimed that I didn't have any insurance on the vehicle that I had in storage, which I did. On December 29th, Geico decided they were going to drop me after that billing period, which would be March 3rd. I decided, fuck them, on January 24th and got a different insurance provider because I'm not paying them to fucking drop me.
Why do I feel like this is like a recording so you can show in court? Why does this sound like this feels like you're recording something? This happened on this date. This happened on this date.
I'm just saying, like, basically they fucked up. They sent me a letter saying I don't have any insurance at a time when I definitely had fucking insurance. And I have, documents and shit to prove that. And so I went to the DMV and I took a number and I stood there for 2 hours and 15 minutes and waited, and they called my number and I went up and I was like, yeah, hey, I got this letter and, I got all these documents that proves that this letter's wrong and what can we do about it? And they're like, yeah, we don't handle anything like that here at this location.
So you had to sit there for how long do you have to be there for?
I was there for at least 2 hours and 30 minutes just fucking around. I was waiting. I walked in there and waited for 2 hours and 15 minutes, let alone talking to this lady. I'm like, okay, well, I'll have to go to the, whatever location she gave me. And I'm like, do you want to look these over and make sure that I'm not, thinking that this is different than it is? Because it's pretty fucking obvious that they just fucked up.
Well, they're the DMV. Isn't that their
That's what they do. You
purpose?
Just wait a long time for them to tell you to go somewhere else to fix their own fuck up. And she's like, yeah, we don't handle anything with registration, so I'm not going to know anything. I'm like, the fuck you won't, but I just walked out.
I think that the DMV is the third layer of hell.
You know what? When the DMV, I'm from the Pittsburgh area, when the DMV that was in Rochester and Beaver County was still operational, that one was pretty all right. They treated you like a human being there. And a lot of those people now work at the one in Chippewa, which is also, I think, in Beaver County. And they treat you pretty nice, but I made the mistake of going to the one in Bridgeville, which is always a fucking shitstorm. That's
the one I always have to go to.
Yeah, it's fucking terrible. It was like a tuberculosis ward. It was just packed full of people.
Yeah, it's the DMV.
People were walking in and going, "Is this the lines?" Like, no, you have to get a number. There's a big fucking sign, like, take a number here and wait until your number's called. And they're like, "Where's the line at?"
I actually prefer going to work than actually having a day off and going to the DMV. There's nothing worse than going to the DMV.
I should have just made the trek to Chippewa and been here late, but
well, whatever. You had a learning experience. Don't go there.
Yeah, but yeah, they fucking suck.
Okay.
They fucking suck. Listen, if you live in the Pittsburgh area, don't even fucking bother going to the whole...
I don't think our audience lives in the Pittsburgh area.
Well, some of them probably might.
Maybe. I do check all of our stats on there from our few subscribers we do. Some of you are all over the place. It's very odd where you guys are located and how you come across our show. It's very crazy to me. But, okay, well, I did not have that bad of a day compared to Adam and his DMV hell experience. I just finished reading that Ready Player One book. Do you know that book? Mm-hmm. They're turning it into a movie.
Turning it into a movie. Mm-hmm.
Like comes out on the 29th or something like that. And Steven Spielberg is the one who's directing it. I was like, oh man, that's awesome. And I was just kind of like, as I went through the whole entire book, the book is awesome. I loved it. I was telling someone, I'm like, I feel like I wrote this book. Like, not in like a bad way. That's not, it's more just like, it just feels tailored to me. It's all just 80s pop culture references. And And it's a really cool book. I suggest anyone read it. My only concern is whether or not how they're going to translate this into a film, like, really terrifies me because...
Yeah, because one of the things you were mentioning is, like, the really obscure licenses that they would need to acquire.
Yeah, and then I understand you can switch it around. You can always do switcheroos and just say, oh, well, instead of going to this obscure, obtuse, like, property, they could just replace it with the property that they have. You know, and just say, hey, we're going to put this in there. And because there's all over the place. You don't have to. Nothing about the specific property is required to move the story along.
Yeah.
They're just more like fan servicey type of things. Like, hey, throw this reference in there. Throw this reference in there.
Remember this thing?
Remember this?
Yeah.
Hey, we're talking about family ties. You don't need to talk about, you know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
don't need to talk about it. But I hope the movie's good because I couldn't stop. My job is I do a lot of driving, so I just do listening to music and audiobooks and podcasts all the time.
Yeah.
And so I just, like, usually what I do is like, all right, let me put this away for a little bit and I'll come back to this in like an hour or I'll come back to it tomorrow. I couldn't stop. I finished that thing in, I think it was 16 hours. The whole book was. I finished it in like 3 days.
Yeah.
I just went through that thing like crazy. Okay, but Adam, let's go on to our news topics today, okay? So we're going to go on to the big ones. We're going to do games first today. And the first one that I thought was pretty cool that I really wanted to talk about was that Valve is apparently going to start shipping games again. And
Like box copies.
I guess.
For PC or for console?
I don't know.
What?
We don't. That's the thing. He was Newell. Gabe Newell was talking with somebody. He's promoting this Dota 2 card game called Artifact. And he went on record and said Artifact is the first of several games that are going to be coming from us. So that's sort of good news. Like, and he was like, hooray, Valve is going to start shipping games again. And like, he pretty much was like, we're not going to talk about those today.
Yeah.
But that's a big thing, and we just think as a company we can do both hardware and software, because they kind of went back and said that we kind of harken that back to Nintendo, the ability to do hardware and develop games.
Well,
Valve is...
For a long period of time, Valve was just doing software distribution digitally, so...
Yeah. Now, one thing I want to talk about with this is, what... do you think that they're going to probably, like, do actual games, or do you think they're going to do stuff like this Dota 2 card game stuff? I have no interest in it.
I have no idea. I have no idea what to expect from Valve.
Because Valve
just don't do anything. A lot of the time, like the obvious action would be to make and publish something that people want, and they're like, "Oh, fuck that idea! I don't like that idea."
Yeah, like,
I'm gonna collect knives instead.
You want Portal 3? No. You want Half-Life 3? No. You want? Why are they all threes? Left 4 Dead 3? No.
They can't do. Valve can't count to 3.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
they can't even do episode 3 of Half-Life 2.
Yeah,
Half-Life 2 episode 3 is what they're waiting on. They said that they were going to do that. I
never happened.
Yeah, but that's crazy to me that they, like, obviously, like, Left 4 Dead and Portal, they weren't really, like, set up. Yeah. But I just kind of find it crazy that they just were like, hey, we're going to set up these these games, Half-Life 2. Then like, oh, well, we're going to re-release it, and we're going to put episode 1 and 2, and then we're going to do 3, then we're going to do Half-Life 3. And they're just like, nah, fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, what? Why?
Yeah.
Those games sell well. I'm pretty sure.
You notice that they did Team Fortress 1, Team Fortress 2, and then nothing but hats for Team Fortress 2 after that.
Yeah, and then the hats. Didn't they kind of do Counter-Strike? Did they ever do like a Counter-Strike 2?
Well, there's Counter-Strike,
like
Counter-Strike 1.6. There's a Counter-Strike that's like exclusive to Xbox.
Was
which
that
has a single
Global
player campaign.
Defense?
Global Offensive.
Global Offensive, was that done by Valve?
Yeah.
That was?
Yeah. Man. That's the one I spent the most time playing.
Oh, I know. You love Counter-Strike. I can't do Counter-Strike. That's just way too tough for me.
I think you have to either be good or not care. You can't be bad at Counter-Strike and care about...
Oh, you're going to get ripped to shreds.
Because the community in Counter-Strike is... I wouldn't say that they're trolls and they're not toxic like League of Legends.
But feels like it's hot and cold.
Nobody gives a fuck in Counter-Strike at all. Even the people that are good don't give a fuck. And if they can get one single giggle from another player in the map out of you, they will do it. They will milk it out of you. I used to do it all the time because I'm not particularly good at it. You know, I'm like okay, but
yeah, I never could understand.
I would play with my friends, and they're like so much better than me. So we were getting matched with people that would just fucking wipe the floor with me, and so I had to be funny.
So you had to become the clown of Counter-Strike.
Yeah. And I had a good time doing it. Yeah, I'm like, and you would find people that were like racist, and then you just report them and get them banned from the game. You know, like, it's fun. Fun shit.
Oh yeah, the old school time of online gaming. Oh.
Yeah, I wish I had the time to do that kind of shit. You know.
Did what? Get good at something?
No, to just. I think I had like 312 hours in Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Yeah.
That is a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of time.
Well, Valve doing games, I mean, that brings it. It's going to obviously bring the question up about Half-Life 3. I mean, haven't they come out and just said that like Half-Life 3 is not going to happen?
Yeah, but I mean, they also said that it was going to happen at one point, and it never did.
And then there was a point where they bought the license, or they bought the copyright to the phrase Left 4 Dead 3. Mm-hmm. Like, that was like a news source around, and nothing on the Portal side, but I mean, I thought all those games do well, and I understand like, hey, we're gonna step back and do hardware, but it's like you can't like make a small little division to make some games. Like, I'm not saying like pump them out there like and make them crap, because there was always a level of quality and attention to detail with Valve games that I just love. Like, Valve, for the longest time, was my favorite company because they just did nothing wrong, and then they just kind of stopped doing anything. Yeah. And it was kind of a sad time when I was like, man, I'm never going to get another Valve game.
From a business standpoint, I mean, they run Steam.
Yeah.
The most successful digital distribution platform for PC gaming. So what's the incentive for them to make any game?
That's the only thing. Yeah, it's like, what's the incentive? They created, yeah, exactly. They created Steam, so why would you? But it's like, come on. I mean, you got here doing something.
Yeah.
You don't think you could just? I mean, that's the game. I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter. I mean, no matter what they release, I feel like Half-Life 3 will never live up to its hype.
No, I mean, it's the same. You remember Duke Nukem Forever took 14 years, and it came out, and it didn't really age other than graphically in that 14 years.
Yeah, but to be fair, my only complaint about that, whenever people say that about Duke Nukem, is that everybody thinks that like Duke Nukem was just kind of like, oh, it goes from this, and then it's canceled. It's on, like they made that game in real quick in probably a couple months.
Well, I know.
They just pumped. I don't know how long it takes to make a game, but they made that game in like the shortest amount of time possible it takes to make a game. And then they shoved it out there, and they're like, well, this is what we waited 14 years for? They could have just called that thing Duke Nukem Reborn, and no one would have been like, well, at least we didn't wait 15 years for it. It's like, just because they put the name Forever, everyone always is like, oh, 14 years for this? It was the same thing with Guns N' Roses, Chinese Democracy. You remember that whole crazy thing? I don't know if you remember.
Didn't they take 9 years to make that album or something like
that?
Yeah,
it took forever. And I was like,
and it came out and it was like, eh.
I think I'm maybe the only person on the planet that actually likes Chinese Democracy. I will 100%, no doubt in my mind, you can go talk to any of my friends. If there ever, there's no train for it, but if there's ever a train that people say that Chinese Democracy is good, I've constantly been ridiculed
You're the
by
conductor
everybody.
Of that train.
I'm the main conductor, yes, because, yes, it is bullshit because I like that album. I understand why people don't, but man, I love that game. And so when it comes to this hype train, can Half-Life 3 even achieve it? Probably not. And no, I think maybe that's
part of the problem with games in development hell is that they always come out and never meet expectations.
Yeah,
because people expect that video games are like wine, where they get better with age.
As if you develop it for 14 years, it's going to be good.
Yeah, which there's no guarantee. It might.
I mean, there's maybe, no but guarantee. Usually when a game is in development hell, that's not
a good sign.
That's a bad sign.
Especially if you're in development hell under the leadership of Randy Pitchford.
To be honest, when it comes to games, movies, music, or whatever, the less news about it is usually the best. Mm-hmm. Unless you're like Kickstarter and you're constantly hearing news.
Here's an update.
Here's an update. No, but any news, no news is good news when it comes to like games and movies. Yeah. They're developing it. You don't want to hear about like, oh, we lost a developer. Yeah, that's bad sign.
If you ever hear a story, which is kind of the reason why we think that Gambit project is dead, is because it keeps losing director. 4 directors.
Yeah, it's.
But if you ever hear a story where it's this game that hasn't been spoken about in 2 years and people go, "Where's this game?" It's because it's not coming, or it's coming and it's going to be shitty.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah. Like whenever you hear all this crap about it, yeah, sometimes no news is good news, but Valve, please just like it's the game everybody wants. Like you can't just like get it out there. Like, just say, okay, we're going to dedicate some time to just do Half-Life 3 so everyone will shut the fuck up about it. I just don't understand why they don't do that.
I don't know why a fan doesn't make that project as a mod for the Half-Life 2.
Yeah.
Because the story's out. The guy that wrote the story released it, just changed the name. So
and apparently the story sounded really good. I didn't read it.
It's relatively interesting.
Yeah, like I just did like Cliff Note version of it. Like someone was saying this is what happens and all that fun stuff. And yeah, so hey, they're gonna make some software again, whether or not it'll be, these little card type games. I hope that's not what they mean by it. I think it's gonna be more
shit like that because you got to realize like Dota and League of Legends are almost identical. I'm sure the people in those gaming communities will be like, "Fuck you, you're wrong." Well, but maybe it's the fucking same game. They're both called MOBAs for a reason. It's the same genre.
Yeah, it's the same genre. I mean, yeah, I know some people that do Dota but don't do League of Legends.
Yeah,
I know plenty of people who are just like that who don't do League of Legends and say fuck League of Legends. They'll be like, that shit's way too nerdy. Dota's awesome though. Like I know people who are like that.
They just seem, I don't know. Valve seems to be moving towards doing like stuff with microtransactions in it. I mean, it really started with Team Fortress 2, in my opinion.
Yeah.
With the hats.
I hope that.
Which, I mean, none of that shit's problematic because a lot of it's cosmetic, but it's still, that's how they're generating most of their revenue. Is that and then their percentage of Steam sales.
Yeah. Before we move on, just last like little thing. It's just like, maybe they're not, I just don't see why they would say, hey, we're going to be starting to release more games that are all going to be like these card-based microtransaction mini games.
I don't know. I hope they're going to do real.
I hope they do real like AAA type titles. Yeah. I really do.
Yeah.
So, all right, Adam. Going on to our next topic. Nintendo Direct just did their last direct a couple days ago.
Yeah. It was.
What did you think?
It was pretty short.
Yeah, I think it was all together maybe like 8 to 9 minutes.
Yeah, people were like shitting their pants about like a Smash Brothers 5 announcement.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. But like, what were you want to work on?
My personal highlights were there was 2 things.
Okay.
I love the Dylan's Rolling Western series. It's like my favorite new Nintendo IP.
Yeah, the Dylan's Dead Heat Breakers.
Yeah, that's the 3rd game in the series.
I didn't even know about this franchise.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's so fucking good.
It looked interesting, but I was like, oh, they're pumping this out, huh? Mm-hmm. Is it a physical?
No, they're digital, and it's just probably another reason why you don't know about them.
Yeah, that's probably why.
This one I hope is a physical release. Or, maybe they'll package all 3 of them on one card or something like that.
I feel like this one, most likely...
It looks a lot bigger than the other 2. We'll say that.
Yeah, I think that the ones that they announced for the... like, because we'll just start with some of the 3DS titles that they released, that they're talking about releasing. I feel like these are most likely going to be physicals. Yeah. I just don't see what's the point of releasing them if you just... if you can't go to a store and buy them type of thing. So, WarioWare Gold is apparently the biggest collection in the series of like 300 some games. I thought 300,
something.
That's insane. But what do you think about that? I mean, have you ever been a fan of the WarioWare games?
Yeah, the ones on the DS were great. I'm not a big fan of the one on Wii.
Oh, see, Smooth Moves was the one that was the first one I did.
There's one on GameCube. The GameCube one's fun.
I think I have that, but I've never actually physically played it.
The best ones are the DS versions.
Really? I know they did them on GameCube. Not GameCube. Game Boy Advance. Didn't they have a couple on that?
They have one on the Game Boy Advance. Micro mini games. Or
where you have the little like ball in the actual cartridge that when you're moving it around and trying to balance it. Like I remember playing that once and it was like, oh my god, this is addicting as shit.
They're good. They're good little games. I mean, every game is 3 seconds long. It's the perfect game for anybody who has ADHD.
Yeah, probably me then, because I'm probably on that little bit on that right on the cusp of having ADHD.
Yeah.
So then we already talked about Dylan's Dead Heat Breakers, which, I mean, for anyone who's not familiar with that, because I was not, how would you kind of explain this? It sounds like racing and battling at the same time.
So this new one has some new elements that aren't in the others. But in the first game, it's basically an action RPG on a small map that's also a tower defense game. And you basically defend a town. You're just like a badass Western character that goes from town to town.
Yeah, exactly.
Saving it from these rock aliens.
I'm looking at this like gameplay footage as we're going through, and it just it does look really, really interesting.
The character design is one of my fucking favorites from Nintendo too, which is...
What'd you say? I'm sorry?
Like Dylan's character design.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, like, he's like a cool-ass, like, armadillo turtle thing.
He's fucking awesome.
I don't know how I feel about these meat-looking characters added into them.
They're a little weird. They're not
goofy.
in the other two games. The other game has, like, a squid that's, like, a sniper. Like that's the second game. And there's, like, two other characters. I think this game's going to have all four of those characters plus these Mii characters, plus there's like a racing aspect to it.
Yeah, the demo will be out on May 10th, but it comes out on May 24th. It does say Nintendo eShop, so they actually might be wrong on that fact that it might actually be physical. Hopefully, though. I mean, you know, me and my physical versions.
Yeah, you usually don't buy digital games unless they're really good.
Unless they're like, I'm amazing, because I always kind of hold out that maybe they'll get the physical one. They announced that the Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story is back. Didn't they just do the other Game Boy Advance one? The
Partners in Time?
Yeah, didn't they just re-release that on the 3DS not too long ago?
I thought they re-released that on the DS.
No, I don't think so. They re-released one of the older
Mario RPGs.
Yeah, well, they did one of the Mario RPGs. I just don't think it was Inside Story.
I don't know which. I haven't played those games, so I can't.
I have. They're fun. They just kind of blend in for me. But no, I mean, hey, if you haven't played Bowser's Inside Story, definitely play it because they're really, really fun games.
Yeah,
they've got really good gameplay mechanics. We got a little bit more of a look at the Detective Pikachu. Which that I don't think that's going to be a good game. I feel
the same way.
I think it has the this like weird thing of like, oh, you got Pikachu and this deep voice character. But I'm sorry, I still just am harkening back to I just want Danny DeVito to be the voice of Pikachu.
Exactly. That's exactly how I felt.
That's all I want.
When I heard Pikachu's voice, I'm like, it's not right.
Yeah, it's not Danny DeVito.
It's not right. Not that it's not Danny DeVito, but that he when they talked about Detective Pikachu, I'm like, oh, like a gruff New York City detective type voice.
Well, I took it like because the voice in the Japanese one was like this, like it sounded really deep and it was really like off-putting, but in a good, like in a funny way.
Yeah.
And then they're going to be making a movie about this Detective Pikachu with Ryan Reynolds as the voice of it. Why I don't really understand that. Ryan Reynolds, I've always loved Ryan Reynolds. I'm not just one of those people that jumped on for Deadpool. Like I loved Ryan Reynolds. Like not just Van Wilder, like his Just Friends, his Buried movie. He did a movie called The Nines or something like that, and it was like that was really good too. So nothing against Ryan Reynolds, but I just don't see his voice being.
I don't know. Like I want this Detective Pikachu game to be good.
I just want the amiibo. It's like a big version.
Yeah,
it's like double the size.
But let me put it to you this way: I'm not like super excited about it. I'm not going to run out and purchase it day one. You know, I'm going to wait and hear what people have to say, and then make a decision based on that.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe it'll play all like those Professor Layton games, but with Pikachu.
Which I love Phoenix Wright. I don't like Professor Layton.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I enjoy the Professor Layton, but yeah, I enjoy Phoenix Wright more. The other one was the GameCube remake of Luigi's Mansion. That seems very ambitious and very odd choice, if you ask me. I'm surprised they didn't just do an HD remaster for the Switch. Why they decided they were going to bring that to the 3DS? I guess because
Dark Moon.
Dark Moon is the like a sequel to it that people loved, and then they were like, before the Switch, they're like, we ever going to get a GameCube remake? So I guess this is answering some people's fans. Hey, Okay, I'm going to be fair. I like Dark Moon. I thought that game was good and the mechanics work really well for a 3DS. I'm not a fan of the original Luigi's Mansion. I'm just not. I know that. I think that's a cult classic type of game, and I'm just not a fan of the first Luigi's Mansion. I hated it when it first came out. I'm also not a fan of Mario Sunshine, which I can't understand how anybody's a fan of Mario Sunshine. But sue me. Hey, I also don't like Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 either, so I've got a little bit of a beef with some popular Mario games. Yeah. You just don't typically like most Mario games.
Yeah, I don't.
I do. I love Mario games. But
I like Mario. I don't even really like the first Mario game.
Ooh.
To be honest. Yeah, I know.
That's mean.
I like Mario 2, which isn't even a Mario game, and then I'd like Mario 3.
Well, Mario 3 is the best. What about Mario World? You don't like Mario World?
Mario World's okay.
Mario Brothers 2, Super Mario World 2. The Yoshi's Island one.
Oh, no, I'm not a big fan
of that one. Baby crying.
Yeah,
really
I don't like that one.
Beautiful looking game, but it annoys the piss out of me with that.
And then Super Mario 64 after that.
Yeah, that's... might be my... Ooh, I don't know. Mario Odyssey might be better than 64, honestly.
Well, I haven't played that yet, so
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I'm going by the game out of the Mario games that I've played. Those are my favorite.
Those two are definitely neck and neck if I had to decide what.
But I also like Mario is Missing, the PC version, not the Super Nintendo version.
I never played the PC. I'm only familiar with the.
Yeah, no, the Super Nintendo and NES versions are.
Well, I mean, it's just
they're garbage.
Well, it's like the Carmen Sandiego translated onto it. It doesn't work. Yeah. Carmen Sandiego is not very good on there, and it's just Mario is Missing. It's just Carmen Sandiego. But okay, so hey. Maybe I'll pick it up and give the 3DS Luigi's Mansion a chance. I'm not sure if I'm going to be all about it, but hey, if they incorporate the same kind of mechanics that Dark Moon kind of did, and maybe it'll make sense. But this is the first time I've seen a GameCube game ported to the 3DS. That's why I think that's kind of ambitious. 64 games being translated have been done great, but
I'm about to blow your fucking mind.
Oh, why?
Xenoblade. Oh, was a Wii game.
You're right.
Ported to the 3DS.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then. Okay, that definitely eases my concerns.
Just as good as it did on the.
Well, I'm not gonna say just as good, but it definitely looks good. No, you're right. That is a very smooth port that worked great and was a very big, ambitious title. But I wasn't. All right. Well, then that pretty much eases my concern on that part. Mm-hmm. All right, Adam. So we're gonna go into the other ones where we have some of these ports. They decided to talk about some of the ports that they were going to do. They're going to do Okami HD.
Which makes sense.
Which makes sense with the touchscreen, and that's the first time it's coming to a Nintendo console, actually.
Nope.
Oh, the Wii.
Wii.
Look at me. I'm slipping up today. Not good. Not good on me. But hey, Okami going to be on there. That's a great game. Unfortunately, I'm probably not going to buy it again because I've literally bought that game on every other console. It's like Resident Evil 4. I've bought it on everything. Yeah. So there's no point in me buying it again. But definitely pick it up. If you didn't buy it for the Wii, definitely with the touchscreen, the drawing mechanics, that'll work perfectly. So definitely do that.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Eat and Throw Sushi looked fucking terrible. That game looked shitty as all hell. I'm sorry.
I hate puzzle games.
I love puzzle. I love puzzle games.
I know you love
that
puzzle
game
games,
looks fucking terrible.
You know that the only puzzle games that I like are Columns and Octomania.
Yeah, I know you like Columns. Oh yeah, me and you get into this about like you like Columns. Like just fucking like Tetris like a normal person. Like what's wrong with you? Like play Dr. Mario or Puyo Puyo. What was the game they released on the 3DS that they did with Mario? They had this one game and then they threw Mario in as well, and it was like
Puzzles and Dragons.
Puzzles and Dragons. That game was fun as hell too. Mm-hmm. Bad story though. Holy shit, that story was fucking terrible, but fun gameplay.
Yeah.
Eat and Throw Sushi just does not look fun to me. That looks way more like that should have been a mobile game. I mean, it kind of is. It's just on the Switch, but Eat and Throw Sushi. No, thank you on that part.
I feel the same way.
Square Enix talks about Octopath Traveler. That game looks gorgeous.
I don't know.
You don't know about it?
I'm not sold on it yet.
No? I think it looks good.
I don't think it looks like it's going to sell bad, but I'm not sold on it yet.
Oh, the selling part is what I'm more concerned about.
Really?
Yeah, just the style. It depends on what they're going to charge for it. But if they're putting out collector's edition, I think this is going to be a full price game. Like,
sometimes they put out a collector's edition that's full price game price, and then they.
Sometimes it just seems a little. I don't know. I think I want to play.
I'm with you on that. If you're gonna do like retro inspired graphics, your game doesn't need to be full priced.
Yeah, no, it just doesn't.
Like I don't care how much work you say it is.
Yeah, 3D Dot Hero was not a full price game, and that game's great.
Yep.
And that's kind of 3D Dot Hero is just what this Octopath to me just kind of reminds me of. It's just harkening back to a certain style of gameplay. It looks a certain way. It's just I'm gonna. When they announce the price of Octopath and whether or not it's going to be... Like, is it pre-orderable?
I don't know.
Let's see. I'm going to go to Amazon and see if Octopath is a full price.
Yeah, go check Amazon because...
Octopath Traveler. Let's see. Because if this is a full price game, this game better be fucking incredible.
You know, because Jeff Bezos is broke and he really needs your money.
Is that kind of the thing?
I don't. Isn't he? He's like the world's first trillionaire, isn't he?
I don't.
Or is Amazon?
This says pre-order price for $59.99, so it's a full price game, and that's just the standard one.
Oh,
I don't know. That's a tough one for me. I'm sorry. A full priced version of it. Ew. All right. Well, that game better be 10 out of 10s, at least 9s if I'm gonna pick that up for a full price. Okay, so then they decided to announce a No More Heroes. Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes. This doesn't look like all the other No More Heroes.
No, it doesn't.
This looks kind of different.
My problem with it.
I love the No More Heroes games, but I don't know. This looked like over-the-top hack and slashing.
Yeah, like top-down hack and slash, which I'm already not a fan of that style of game. And, I'm not... Right now, I'm going to say that I'm definitely not interested in Travis Strikes Again.
Yeah, I need a little more of a gameplay analysis on that one before I make a full-time decision. Then we go into the Dark Souls Remastered plus the Amiibo.
Yeah, which is already sold out, by the way.
The Amiibo?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure
sold out like 4 hours after they announced it.
Oh, yeah, that thing's going to be hard. That's going to be a hard one for me to get. Luckily, I'm not a Dark Souls fan. I've gone on record in saying that. Dark Souls are not bad games. They are just not my type of gameplay. You love the Dark Souls franchise.
Yeah, I do.
You've been playing it since Demon Souls, right?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, so...
Well, technically before that, because Demon Souls is a spiritual successor to Kingsfield, so...
Yes, and I support Dark Souls all around because there is definitely a place for those type of games. I just don't like playing games that frustrate me to all hell and back. You know, I just... Not my style. But
I think you just like things that are faster. Like, you have to be... Especially on your first playthrough through any Dark Souls game, you have to be slow and thoughtful and methodical.
Yeah,
that's not really your type of game.
No, right? Like I don't have a problem playing like top-down shooters where you're.
Yeah, like you can do bullet hell games and I won't fucking touch them.
Yeah, like I like bullet hell games and I like old school. Like I don't have a problem with challenge. I just don't like the seeing the dying screen all over again, and it's just not my beautiful game. Beautiful soundtrack. Gameplay is solid. I love watching people play the game, but I don't actually like physically playing it. Captain Toad is going to be re-released on the Switch. I don't see the point in that. I feel like you could have had another port that you... I mean, is it just that easy to do? Like, to do Captain Toad again?
Well, I think... Aren't they just porting the game and adding new levels?
Yeah, they're adding a couple levels to it.
I mean...
I feel like that's the Wii U... I mean, Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker is a fun game. I beat that game in, like, a couple hours. I'm not really...
Here's the problem. We don't need to be porting last generation shit.
No, but at the same time...
The last generation ended like a year and a half ago.
I know, but to be fair, to just say, Mario Kart 8 is one of the highest selling ones, and that was just a port, and they just added a correct battle mode. They're going to make a fuckload of money whenever they start porting over some of these Wii U games because no one purchased them.
On the Wii U, that's true.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Is nobody played these games, so they're going to throw these games. This is the first time me and you both had a Wii U, so we both know these games. So we're like, why are we going to buy these again? But I bet you Tropical Freeze, whenever they release that later, will sell like hotcakes. Maybe Toad will...
I bet you if they do Tokyo Mirage Sessions, Wonderful 101, and all that shit, probably sell like hotcakes.
Oh, yeah, I think so. And just because the Switch is just selling like, let's go again, it's selling like hotcakes.
Yep.
Can't keep them around. Well, they're readily available now, but they're still being sold like crazy.
Yeah.
So I don't care about them porting over stuff because it's like, all right, well, I'm just not going to buy it. But I want them to start porting like, come on, can you throw us the Star Fox over there and just get rid of that shitty
motion control?
Yeah. I'd love that.
Star Fox Zero Fixed Edition.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, the Star Fox Zero Fixed Edition. That's what you need to do. Just
Nintendo, you could have that name. I don't need any money for it.
Yes, take it. Take the GTAS podcast version of
Star Fox Zero Fixed Edition.
That's so good. I love that title. I might actually, if they ever do it, I think I'm gonna get a sticker and just write on it and stick it edition. Right over where they put like Switch Edition. I'm just gonna put fixed.
Maybe we can like print out
fixed,
versions. Yeah, like fixed artwork.
Yeah, fixed edition.
Yeah,
that's
fixed
funny.
Edition.
Hey, they're gonna actually put over the Crash Bandicoot games.
Yeah, I'm not surprised about that.
Really, I'm actually very shocked at that.
I'm pretty sure they said that it's the first time that it's ever been on a Nintendo platform.
No, because there
was GameCube games.
There were GameCube games and Wii games.
Yeah. So they're fucking stupid.
I guess they're just talking about the trilogy.
Yeah. But they didn't really make it. That's what they were talking about, but they didn't really make it that apparent. They're like, it's the first time Crash has ever appeared on a Nintendo platform. Like, no, it isn't.
Where's the amiibo?
Fucking dork.
Where's the amiibo? Give me a Crash amiibo. Technically, I mean, they have those Sony Toitaku ones, so.
Yeah, but they don't do anything.
They're going to also put over Little Nightmares. So, hey.
I don't know what that is.
That's that little game where you're the little character in the raincoat, the yellow raincoat. It was like a budget game. They released it. It came with a toy at the beginning for like the PS4 and the Xbox One. It had a little toy of the girl or the character. I never played the game, but it has like.
You're not selling me on it.
Well, it's like a platformer.
Okay, I'm definitely not sold on it.
Oh, well, you watched the goddamn thing. You didn't see it?
It was probably so forgettable that I just forgot.
Well, a lot. It's actually, people really do like that game. I just never played it.
People are allowed to like bad games.
You never played the game. What are you talking about? Shut the fuck up. What's wrong with you? Fuck you. Like bad games that you never even fucking played. God, I hate you sometimes.
I just like to start shit.
Yeah, you do. South Park is not what I was expecting to get announced for the Switch.
Yeah, well,
the fact
I'm not surprised.
The fact that they had a guy on the game on the Nintendo Direct constantly saying South Park, the fractured butthole. Like he was doing his best to not say
butthole. Yeah,
yeah. He was like the fractured butthole. Like he really was emphasizing that.
Yeah,
but, man, that game is.
I think that was Bill Trinan, wasn't it?
Doing
the voiceover.
I don't know. I'm not too familiar with a lot of the Nintendo staff, but who cares? I never had a chance to play the fractured butthole, but I did do Stick of Truth, and those games are fun as hell. But man, raunchy as hell.
You know that Trey Parker and Matt Stone actually think the first South Park game the one was on PS3 and Xbox 360 is a piece of shit.
Really? They don't like the Stick of Truth?
They hated how it turned out.
Oh, really? I liked how it turned
a lot
out.
of people like that game. There's some problems.
Were they happy with this one?
Yeah.
They were happy. This is the one that
when they announced this, they're like, we learned from a lot of the mistakes that were made.
Yeah, they did say that.
And we fixed a lot of shit.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, they were not happy with the first game.
Oh, wow. I'm actually kind of shocked at that. So, yeah, we get also, they announced the May 18th date for Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition. I sold off my Wii U one so I could get this one because I'm probably going to go all over Hyrule Warriors again to do that again. Did you ever you never really liked Hyrule Warriors too much?
I bought it twice. I bought it on the Wii U and then I bought it on the 3DS and I didn't even open it on the 3DS.
Oh, it's good. It's a good port on the 3DS, but you need to have the XL version or it just doesn't work right. Its frame rate issues are really awkward. I want to try to get the 3DS version of Fire Emblem's Warriors, just because I also just want to support anything that's Fire Emblem that comes out in the States. But I think at this point, I'm not needed for that. I think it just does sell itself.
Yeah.
I'm just shocked that they did so many 3DS titles for this. I mean, they announced a bunch of 3DS titles.
It's still one of their best-selling platforms of all time.
I know. I just kind of thought they were really trying to just shove it under the rug and focus on Switch. No, they're still supporting it. I mean, hey, why not? Keep going with it. Okay, but let's go into the three big ones that they talked about here. Which we'll start with Mario Tennis Aces.
Wait. Fuck Mario Tennis Aces. We need to talk about how there's games that they showed on the Japanese Direct that they did not show on the American Direct.
I didn't watch the Japanese, so you want to go into that?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Talk about it, because I have no frame of reference for this.
So what do you know about the Saga series? Like Romancing Saga, Unlimited Saga, any of those fucking games, right?
I know that they're titles.
Okay, well there's a new Saga game coming out, and it was shown for the Japanese one, not shown in the American one.
Okay, they're clearly not going to give it to us.
There's another one that you're going to be even more pissed about.
Fixed edition?
No. Phantasy Star Online 2.
No!
It's coming to the Nintendo Switch in Japan.
Oh, fuck you.
And it's not coming to the United States.
Oh, damn it. Are they going to have at least the... Oh, well, it's going to be impossible. I mean, there's no region lock, but it's going to be all Japanese. Shit. That sucks.
Well, here's another really fucking cool thing that Sega did. So if you have the PC version and you're playing from an American IP, if you don't VPN yourself into a fake Japanese IP, they won't let you sign into the servers anyway, so you can't even fucking bother importing it.
Only reason... Oh, that sucks.
Yep.
Why is Americans... Like, why has America been shit on with the Phantasy Star series? Like, is it just because the last one on the 360 just didn't do that great?
What, Universe?
Yeah.
Probably.
Like, they did that, and then they did the one on the PSP, and just didn't sell
PSP
them?
ones were good.
I know, but did they sell? Like, is the
Fantasy... I bought them.
I think the Phantasy Star verse is done in America right now. It's just the North American market, I guess, is just not about that. We still haven't heard anything about Dragon Quest either. They were supposed to bring those over.
Dragon Quest Online. I'm pretty sure that might be coming to the Switch as well in Japan.
I know it's coming to Japan, but they kept promising that they were going to release that shit over here. But they
at this point, is there any point now?
I guess,
we're about to get Dragon Quest 11. Why bother?
Yeah, that's, I guess, yeah.
That would be like...
We are getting Dragon Quest 11, though? Yeah, that is something that they have confirmed?
Yeah, we're definitely getting Dragon Quest 11.
Good.
But that would be like releasing Final Fantasy 15 and then going, oh, by the way, next year Final Fantasy 11's coming out for the United States. That's what bringing out Dragon Quest 10 at this point would be like.
Okay. Well, the one I'm really pissed off about is that Phantasy Star. You really knew that was going to piss me off, huh?
I know. That's why I wanted to bring it up.
God damn it.
But, all right, let's move on to these three big games that one of them already sounds like it's not that big of a deal.
Mario Tennis Aces? Is that what you're saying? I think they're really trying to pump this game out. Not like fast.
Yeah.
But like pump it up, I guess is the better way to say it.
They're trying to drum up some hype.
Yeah, because the last one that they released was the tennis on the Wii U was such a piece of garbage. It was the most bare bones thing I'd ever seen Nintendo release because it was just awful. No modes, like almost... The gameplay was so simplistic. There was no like fun mechanics about it. And that's kind of what the cool thing about the Mario sports titles is that they just, you know, they're kooky and weird. And so they have like they have charm to them. Like Mario Golf is still one of my favorite golf type games because, I mean, Hot Shots is 100% my favorite golf title. But I like the Mario and the wacky sports titles because I don't like sports titles in general.
I think the last Mario Tennis that I could really remember being good was the one on the Game Boy, I want to say. That's the one that had the elements. Yeah, that was the one with like the story mode that was like really weird. This one has a story mode too. I think they're kind of taking. I was like, oh, so we're gonna have a story. That's
mode.
Really what people want.
A story mode.
People want the Mario Tennis like it was on the Game Boy.
Yeah. No. I completely agree, and it looks like they're answering it, so I can't see why that's a bad thing. And so, hey, good job on Mario Tennis. But yeah, once I see reviews for it, that'll probably determine whether or not I get that. Where's it? Mario Strikers. That's the best one. Mario, the soccer one. Well, they need to come out with another one of those, man, because people love Strikers. I know a lot of people that like Strikers.
You know what they really need to do?
What?
Come out with an F-Zero game.
Wow. we know that. We know you want it, Adam. We know you want your F-Zero
How about
game.
a Punch-Out game that doesn't fucking suck like the Wii one?
I like the Wii one.
Fuck you.
The Wii one's fun. Fuck me. It's okay to like bad games. That was a quote. It's okay to like bad games that I don't play. Fucking idiot. It's fine. And like the Punch-Out's no like super Punch-Out, but it's still a really fun game. What the fuck is wrong with you today? You are just like crazy today. This is the weirdest Adam I've ever had on the show. Like ever since we did this, I mean, this is the weirdest I've seen you. Okay. So you remember how I said I have a problem with one of the things?
Yeah, what's one of the things?
I'm going on to the next one, which was the Splatoon DLC, like story mode type thing that they were coming out with.
Yeah, Splatoon 3.0.
Yeah, kind of like that.
That's what they called it. Update 3.0.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know if it has a subtitle, but that's what they were calling it.
It's it's their first paid DLC, which they release a crap load of content for Splatoon. They are really keeping it alive. Now, I have no problem with I'm most likely, I'd say I am 89% sure that I'm probably going to be buying this because I love Splatoon. I love the universe that they did with that. It's called the Octo expansion, just as like a final thing. Now, I got a problem. I got beef that I got to talk to Nintendo about.
Where is Star Fox Zero Fixed Edition?
No, that is that, but we already addressed that. I have a problem with the sexualization of these squid characters. I feel like these characters are starting to become a little fan servicey the way they are.
Really?
Yes.
I don't know. I didn't watch this trailer, so
I watched the trailer. I'll show you eventually the trailer. A little bit.
Why don't we just take a break and watch it right now?
You want to do that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Well, then we'll take a break. I'll show Adam this trailer, and I'll see if maybe I'm just a little crazy with it. But all I was taking from it was that it was a little bit fan servicey. But that
sexy squid makes you feel uncomfortable, is what you're saying.
Well, they're sexy squid kids.
Yeah,
that's
true.
My problem. But okay, well, I'm gonna get Adam's take on this because he doesn't remember this. But all right, so we'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. Adam, you had a chance to watch the quick little trailer for the the Octo expansion that I'm talking about. Yeah. So what I was saying before was I just had an issue. I'm like, I think they're kind of like over-sexualizing these squid kids. And I was kind of uncomfortable while watching it. Like, and I'm not one that's like super, I really don't care about shit. But this was just kind of like rubbing me like, Nintendo seems a little weird with it. It's like how they get kind of weird with Samus now and the Zero Suit.
Yeah.
That they like kind of over-sexualize the Zero Suit Samus a lot. I don't know. Am I wrong in saying it? You got a chance to watch it. We just literally watched it.
I kind of see what you're saying. Like, there's one part where I guess they're showing like maybe a story expansion or
and it clearly has like a story like part to it where you're supposed to find out a lot about these characters. But like the character that they have, I don't think she has a name or anything yet. But she just, that character is just way over-sexualized to me. I mean, with the crop top that's like up to here, she has hips the size of like, holy shit.
They made her thick with 2 C's.
Yeah, she is.
And
she's like the way she's walking and just
it's very much a lot of hip movement in that walk.
I don't know.
They kind of sexualize her in the same way that Sonic Adventure 2 sexualizes Rouge the Bat.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna say at that level. Rouge the Bat is like has a literal heart that outlines her cleavage.
That's true.
But But I see what
But
you're
yeah,
going
it's
with.
weird.
It is kind of weird.
It's weird.
And it's mostly that at least Rouge the Bat is technically considered like
an adult.
A fucking adult.
Yeah.
Like, these are clearly kids doing paintball.
Squid Kids. Yeah.
Squid Kids.
Yeah.
They're called Inklings.
Yeah.
For Christ's sake. I don't know. That's just I just really hope Nintendo.
I'm with you on. I agree that it's weird.
It's really odd to me, and I don't even want to. I bet you if I went into Inklings like fan art,
don't.
I bet you it's terrifying.
I can guarantee you there's some weird shit out there.
Yeah, I don't. Not yeah.
They'll do it with anything.
Well, they will do it for anything, but I'm telling you, I don't even want to think about what the Google Images with unfiltered look like if I typed in Inklings fan art.
I'm telling you, no, don't do it.
I'm kind of curious.
Nah, you don't want to see it. I guarantee you don't.
You know it's there.
Oh, of course it is. Just think about how that kind of stuff online ruins other things that are mostly geared towards children.
Well, I was gonna say like Overwatch, but Overwatch isn't geared towards children. But Overwatch is.
I can guarantee you, there's My Little Pony shit like that.
Oh, I know there's My Little Pony shit. It's fucking probably. I've seen it. It's terrifying. It's awful. The Overwatch is overboard. It
all is.
It's over. But these are kids, and that's just my only thing.
Honestly, I think that like sexualizing cartoon stuff that's geared towards children should carry jail time.
It's odd. Like, I don't know. I don't want to. I didn't want to turn it into this, but I just was like, Adam needs to see what I'm talking about at least, because.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this is that bad, but it is weird.
It's just heading into a dangerous territory.
Yeah.
And I had a feeling they were gonna. I just didn't think Nintendo was gonna get it. That hit movement is insane. And while the video's clearly playing at the bottom, so you guys will see what I'm talking about. But that hit movement is nuts. I just kind of thought that was insane to me. But hey, whatever. All right, Adam. So we're gonna move on to the last part of the Nintendo Switch Direct, which was the Super Smash Bros. Announcement, which is funny because I literally just talked about that a couple podcasts ago. It was either on the last one or it was on 14. What? That I said, I'm like, I bet you they're holding off for that. Where's the Smash
announcement
port? Yeah, and I said, I bet you they're holding off on it to add other characters. And boom! I'm almost fucking right. I guarantee, because they added Inklings
and Breath of the Wild Link.
And Breath of the Wild Link, which is a costume, but whether or not it's going to be a costume or a whole other character, that's a whole different story. But and people might say, like, oh, well, they had Inkling costumes that you could do. Yeah, you could add Inklings to your Mii with the cannon. You could do that. But I think this is actually confirmation that they're going to full on have Inklings. Probably they're going to be the new version of the Ice Climbers. I think.
You think?
I think they're going to be a combo. Because what's the difference in the gameplay if you're going to have the Inkling boy and the Inkling girl, unless it's just a costume swap?
Yeah.
Kind of how you can do like the male Wii trainer and the female Mii trainer. I just think it would be cool gameplay wise if you added them like the Ice Climbers.
Yeah.
Where they're comboed.
I'm going to be the only person probably on the planet to say that I don't give a fuck.
Yep. I knew that you were going to say
You knew
that.
I was going to go there.
Because in the last podcast, you even said, like, yeah, you're done with Smash Brothers.
Yeah, I'm tired of waiting for characters that I'm never going to get.
Altered Beast, man.
There's so many more characters that should be in that game.
I know. Hey, I mean, they throw you some little service with the Captain Falcon.
Yeah, but he's like a series staple.
Do we still have him on the table? Yeah, he's there. He's still there.
He's there. Yeah. He's right here. If you can't see him.
Falcon. He's there. That's my amiibo just on Adam's side, so they didn't have to bring his from home.
Yeah, well, it's fucking stupid. You already have one here, so.
Well, I have them. I'm literally only missing 3 amiibos now.
They're all here.
What?
Oh, you're talking about like that you don't have out of the ones that are out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Detective Pikachu. Solaire.
I have that pre-ordered.
Solaire.
Huh?
Solaire, Praise the Sun.
That's the only one that's going to be tough for me to get, but no, the only 3 that I don't have out right now that are readily available are the Goomba, the Koopa, and the Skyward Sword. Like, might have been a Amazon exclusive Link figure. They did another stupid store exclusive to release the other. You know how they have a Link for every single game that he's ever done?
Yeah.
So they have the Ocarina of Time, the 8-bit one. Then they have one for Majora's Mask. And then they have one for Wind Waker. The only one I'm missing is the Skyward Sword one. Because I just got the Twilight Princess one. Which I'm really happy with that too. I found that used. Not a very good price, but it was okay. At least beating, because I don't like trying to get, I don't have, none of my amiibo are imports. None of them are Japanese imports. They're all American ones. So I'm trying to avoid getting any of the.
You don't have the Japanese Rob?
No, but that one, I have the Japanese Rob that was made in America.
The American, but the Japanese color scheme.
Yeah, that's not a problem. I have every amiibo that's been made in the U.S. So Rob was a variant exclusive, which I'm surprised they did at all. But I was going to import that one if they didn't make it, but then there were rumors that they were going to do it. So very happy for Switch. I
actually like that color scheme for Rob better.
Yeah, it's more interesting to look at. I'm very happy for the Nintendo Switch version of Smash Brothers that we are getting this year. Great. My only issue now is that I got to go and get a bunch of controllers because 7 or 8 player Smash, whatever they did with that, was so much fun. So
I so disagree.
I loved it.
I thought it was fucking terrible. I hate being small on a gigantic map.
Oh, see,
that's why I don't play top-down games. They fucking suck.
I enjoyed the 7-player Smash. Just having that many people playing at the same time was fun. Yeah, I understand a lot of people didn't like it because of the shrinking of the characters and to have these big screens.
The only game that I played where that was worse was that multiplayer Castlevania Harmony of Dissonance game.
What the hell was that?
It was they popped you in one Castlevania map and you played through it was a multiplayer game where you played through the whole map. You got to the boss, killed the boss, and then went to the next
Harmony of Dissonance, wasn't that a Game Boy?
No.
No? Are you sure it's Harmony of Dissonance?
Pretty sure. It's a multiplayer game for the PS3 and Xbox 360.
Oh, wait. Is that the one that has the really nice cover art?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. That was Harmony of Dissonance, I believe.
Yep.
It has a really nice artwork cover to it, but...
And it has tons of Castlevania characters.
I never even heard about that game.
It's actually a lot of fun, but anytime that you have multiple players and you guys end up on other sides of the map, instead of keeping you zoomed in your area and the other player who's you're playing with online zoomed into their area, it zooms the whole fucking map out.
No.
It's terrible.
You're wrong. Harmony Dissonance is a Game Boy Advance game.
All right, well, it's a Harmony of something.
Let me see.
Look up the...
Harmony of Despair?
Maybe.
Castlevania is a cross-over platform adventure game, and the Castlevania Harmony of Despair. Xbox 360, PS3 sounds right?
Yep, that's it.
I was going to say, I'm like, Harmony of Dissonance is a Game Boy game. Harmony of Despair is the correct title.
GBA. That's the GBA game with Tuesday Belmont or something like that.
Okay. All right, Adam, let's go on to our next topic, which is the hilarious Trump White House releasing the violent video game reel that went viral like crazy.
Which 90% of the clips are from Call of Duty games.
Yeah, the games listed were Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Wolfenstein The New Order, Dead by Daylight, Fallout 4, and Sniper Elite 4. And so
2 of those games you're killing Nazis in, they had a problem with. Just keep that in mind.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say Sniper Elite. But here's the other thing is one of them is war. Like, it showed a guy being shot in a Humvee. Like, that happens. Like, that's fucking, that is war.
That's the reality for everybody that you want to send to war in Syria and North Korea, you fucking dick.
I like how it also, at the end of the video, Trump included. And now, here's the thing. Before we go very far into this, this is not a political issue that I'm talking about. Like,
no, we're just talking about how fucking hilariously bad this montage was.
Yes, this isn't an anti-Trump or anything like that. It's a dumb video, and it's just more about violence and blaming video games for it. This isn't meant to be some sort of political crap, because I just don't fuck with politics like that.
Bobby is very apolitical.
Yeah, I just don't fucking want to deal with it. But this is fucking so absurd that I had to talk about it. I almost didn't want to talk about it because it's from the White House. That's almost why I almost excluded it in general. So it gained over 600,000 views in a few hours, and since the video has been taken down to an unlisted status because... Do you want to go into that?
It's basically a fucking meme.
It's ridiculous. It just has the most over-the-top shit, and
one of the things...
We were just laughing the whole entire time,
Yeah,
because it's like, oh my god, is this meant to be, like, serious? That we're buying into this, like, oh no, this is so violent. It's probably more not geared towards...
There's
more like
the Fallout...
adults.
I think it was Fallout 4, wasn't it?
Yeah,
There's a Fallout 4 clip where the dude point-blank range shotguns him in the skull 7 times before the character dies.
And then his head explodes.
And then his head explodes. It's clearly not realistic. Nobody's going to take more than one shot to the skull and then fucking get up and then walk around to the other side of the table and crouch.
True, but I don't think that was also the point to say, like, look
how realistic. That's the whole point. They're like, look at this realistic violence. It's desensitizing our children. It's not fucking real. It's obviously not fucking real.
I just think it's so stupid because my college career was not a very big, like, I didn't do a lot in college. But when we ever had a point to do a research topic, I'd always do the violence in video games.
You were saying you wrote like 3 papers on
I've written
exact subject.
Probably more than 3. I think altogether I wrote probably around 4 or 5 different subjects where someone's like, all right, time to do a research paper. I'm like, all righty, here we go. Let's do it and see if there's any more change in the data. And
there never was.
No, and there never. And I always got really good grades on those things because always the teacher.
Because despite the myth, this is one of the most well-researched topics.
Yes, it is
in video games. Period.
In culture, it's always been. He says it's movies, and guess what? A lot of people thought that the violence was happening. Like a lot of people thought that Elvis's hips were gonna fucking do shit to you. That they were gonna make like they were gonna turn you evil. Elvis's hips. Then it turned into like rock and roll and the Beatles and their shaggy hair. Then it turned into like fucking comic books. Well, then they said drugs. Drugs were
arcades. Remember?
Yeah, arcades were like fucking
ruining
violent
our
pits.
youth.
Yeah, ruining our youth, desensitizing them with Mortal Kombat. I remember everybody being in line for Mortal Kombat at the arcades at the mall that I used to go to all the time.
Yeah.
Actually, in the last podcast, the one that I walked to like every day.
Yeah.
We'd go buy comic books and then we'd go to the little arcade too. First experience, one of my first video game experiences ever was my mom giving me $5, and that's where I spent it all on Ghosts and Goblins at the Parkway Center Mall. Which
is one of your favorite games.
It is one of my favorite games. That's why I want it so bad. But this is such a goofy thing to do that, we need to show that we're paying some attention to this gun violence thing. Look at all these violent video games that are causing people to shoot up schools. They for a while, trust me, one of the first most violent school shootings was in Texas, where a guy had like a thing in his brain that like made him go crazy, that he went up to a tower and started sniping people. And that was 10 years before even fucking Pong. Before that was even created. People have been always violent, and people have always had I'm not dealing with how you want to do with gun control or anything like that. I'm just saying, people can get a hold of guns, and they're going to do crazy shit with it. It's been through our culture all the time. Yes, it's being a little more ramped up in the last couple years, but we don't talk about how Japan, whose main culture is based a lot in video games, where all their youth constantly, they still have arcades, they have a bunch of games, but you don't hear anything about gun violence in Japan. You don't hear about gun violence in other places. You don't even hear
lowest crime rate of any country.
Is what?
Japan.
Japan?
Lowest crime rate.
And they have a bunch of games. Mm-hmm. Now
they're fucking overloaded with games.
We are a very gun-centric society, and I'm not going to say that
there's plenty of countries that have. I mean, we have the most guns per capita, but there's plenty of countries
we
that have guns that have shootings.
There's technically more guns out than there are people in the United States.
Yeah.
But it's kind of
that doesn't have anything to do with the mass shootings.
What?
That doesn't have anything to do with mass shootings either. Well, none of this stuff does.
No.
It's all deflection. It's all, nobody wants to actually look at the underlying problems, and what we have more than anything else is like social alienation.
Okay, see, here's the thing. I'm not gotta give me, because as you said, apolitical. I just don't really. What do you mean by that?
People feel alienated from society, from their families, from their communities. It has a lot to do with this country fosters a lot of toxic individualism, the lone hero narrative. It doesn't all these things go together, and you're also talking about the rise of far right political views, which most of these mass shooters tend to be right-wing white males.
Okay.
There's been over 300 attempted or carried out mass shootings in our lifetime, and something like
but here's the thing: is most of these
are white males.
I know. Well, they are. A lot of them are white male, but another thing is that a lot of them are kids. The last couple big ones are kids. Like these kids can't decide like that shit. I mean, they might feel certain. I mean, to be honest, me just outside looking in, how I think it's mostly a psychological thing that just is not being addressed well enough.
There's plenty of people that are mentally ill that don't mass shooting people.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
there's mentally ill people that aren't on the books.
The amount of people in the country compared to the amount of people who do mass shootings is it's very small. Minimal. It's very small, but I mean, it is kind of rising, and I just think that this. I hate when people use entertainment as a scapegoat.
Yeah,
and it's all protected under the First Amendment, so you can't do shit about that. You can't sit there and censor these games. I mean, there's rating systems on there, and it's
which is one of the things that he said. He's like, these things need rating systems. Like films and movies don't already have them.
Yeah,
films,
there's
and TV,
the ESRB,
and movies, and ESRB. They all exist.
This all happened before. This all happened already. The ESRB was formed based on crap with Mortal Kombat and Night Trap. Which you look at Night Trap again, but it's crazy, and Mortal Kombat you laugh at now, but I mean, yeah, back then it was kind of shocking to see that shit. But I mean, there were kids who were playing who I remember, because this is all coming back to the Jack Thompson lawyer who just,
and Joe Lieberman, and all that shit.
All he did was just go around being like, oh, these kids said that they trained on Doom to go on and do a shooting. Or he was playing Grand Theft Auto and then went onto the highway and just shot a shotgun into oncoming cars. What? That's
it's bullshit.
It is. It's a complete
false
narrative that people are trying to spread, that media and entertainment, it's been around forever. Yes, there's been a random spike in it, but there's nothing to do with the fucking game.
I don't think the spike is random, but it has nothing to do with video games.
It grows every year.
That's what I mean. It's not. There's nothing random about the spike. There's definitely societal conditions that are increasing these types of events, but it has nothing to do with video games. It has nothing to do with movies. It has nothing to do with music.
I forgot the whole that rap was turning everyone violent.
Yeah,
or Marilyn Manson. Remember the whole Marilyn Manson was the cause of Columbine?
Yeah. Fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Fucking ridiculous.
Go look up
I don't even like Marilyn Manson, but that's a fucking ridiculous claim.
No, yeah. Go back and look at anything with the two people that shot up Dylan's...
Klebold and Harris. Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold.
Yeah. Go back and look at them and anything about them, and you tell me that you think Marilyn Manson was the cause of Columbine. You're ignorant and you got your head in the sand. That's such a stupid argument. And this is just clearly meant to be a distraction from actually doing something about it.
Yeah, they don't want to do anything about it. There's two things.
NRA is already suing someplace in Florida for passing a rule that raises the age to buying certain weapons.
Yeah.
So it's clearly...
a lot of states are trying to do that right now. If you are a gun owner under the age of 21 in any state that's passing that law, they can't retroactively take your gun away. Just so you know.
Yeah, I mean that's whenever Donald Trump got all these people together and decided, hey, we're gonna talk about this new and we're gonna talk about with the Entertainment Software Association and stuff like that, and all that came out was this dumb fucking video.
Yeah. Which,
Isn't
by the
this
way,
violent?
we should address that some of that video is copyrighted content from YouTube.
Yeah, you can see the watermarks on some of them.
Yeah. So
Like, geez.
yeah.
So now you're also doing that, like taking some
Copyright
revenue.
violation?
Yeah, you're taking people's work. Way to go.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid, and it's more distractionary tactics. Like, instead of dealing with the actual problem, we're gonna, one side's gonna say this and the other side's gonna say that, and neither of them are gonna be fucking right, and we're gonna get nowhere.
Yep, pretty much. Okay, Adam, we're gonna move on to our movie news. First one we're gonna start off with is that the director and actor Jon Favreau is going to be helming the new Star Wars TV series that is going to be made for the Disney live-action streaming service. Live-action streaming service. Just the Disney streaming service. I don't know why I added
this show is live action.
The show is live-action.
Yeah.
What do you think about that news? Do you have anything you want to say about that?
Do we know what it's about yet?
No, I'm sure they're keeping that under wraps.
I'm sure you know where I'm going with that.
What do you mean?
I'm sure you know where I'm going with
Oh,
that.
how you want it to be Shadow of the Empire?
Yeah, it's not going to be.
In no way. I think at this point, you could fit in Dash Rendar, but the canon of... To canonize Shadow of the Empire now would just not work with the current state. With I think the books completely... The books that are technically canon, I do like a lot of the books, but they're canonizing the books, and some of the events in the book would completely negate anything that happened in Shadow of the Empire. But you can totally take Dash Rendar and like Prince Xizor, and they've already talked about the Black Sun on Rebels before.
Yeah.
So they exist. But yeah, it's never.
So that's good. Maybe it'll happen. Maybe I'll get it someday.
Yeah, it'll be sometime in 2019 that this is supposed to be. So that it should be coming. So Jon Favreau is actually apparently playing a character in Solo, a Star Wars story, and I think Disney has just been really happy with Jon Favreau's work.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people forget that everyone always talks about like Joss Whedon and the Russo brothers and Kevin Feige as like these people who are really taking Disney and Marvel into a new direction. People forget that Jon Favreau is the one responsible for Iron Man 1. He is responsible for Iron Man 2, but I also don't think Iron Man 2 is as bad as most people say. That might just be a...
And he also made the Jungle Book movie you told me.
Yeah, he did the live-action Jungle Book that Disney was very...
Maybe surprised to hear that I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah, Adam actually didn't. I was so shocked when you said that. And he's now doing the live-action Lion King version.
Yeah.
So, well, it's actually kind of funny because whenever you say like the live-action Jungle Book, when the whole entire thing was like pretty much all CG except for one character.
Yeah.
And so I think that this Lion King movie is just going to be the same thing, but with no people.
CG action.
Yeah, but everyone says it's the live action.
Yeah, it's not really live action.
Yeah, it's not live action if the whole entire thing is CG. But hey, I'm excited because I thought the Jungle Book was really good, and I think that the Lion King has a huge potential to be a easy $1 billion movie and massive success. Especially, and Jon Favreau has just done a really good job. He's a huge Star Wars fan, by the way.
When Lion King comes out, are we going to talk about how it's a ripoff of something else?
Oh, you might as well just get it out now. What are you going to say it's a ripoff of?
Kimbo the White Lion by Osamu Tezuka.
I don't even think I'm familiar with that, but I mean...
Most people aren't.
Yeah.
But it's...
Is that pretty much the same story as Lion King?
Yeah, it's the same story.
Interesting. Well, it's not the first time I think that like Disney is completely just kind of,
Well, to be honest...
done shit like that.
Tezuka's main inspiration was Disney. And then Disney got the rights to, distribute his shit after he died in the United States.
Oh,
so
yeah.
They just kind of made it again.
I forgot that Jon Favreau also directed Elf, which I did not know that, but that's great. But he also directed Cowboys and Aliens, which is a fucking terrible movie. That's a fucking terrible movie.
Yeah, it is.
Whoo! Jon Favreau. Whoo! Not good.
I actually saw that. Not in theaters. I went to a drive-in and saw it.
Ooh, that's such
Cowboys
a
and
piece of shit movie. Yeah. So he'll be the showrunner of the whole entire thing. Showrunner and producer. And a lot of people say like, oh, well, he should direct it. I'm like, I wouldn't be shocked if he directs it. the pilot or something like that. Maybe a couple episodes here and there, but the director isn't the one who really, when it comes to television, the director isn't the one who makes the calls.
Yeah.
He just is given a plot, you direct it. The showrunner is a much more, I guess, story and important job because that's the tone. This is your show. You're running it. You run the show. I mean, it's in the title, the showrunner. So I'm really happy with that. This is actually one of the better decisions that Disney has. But just like Jon Favreau is clearly he's usually really dedicated to his properties, and he does a really good job with them. I mean, the first Iron Man, a lot of people still consider. I disagree with it, but I think a lot of people consider Iron Man 1 as one of the best Marvel movies and maybe best superhero movies like that's been ever made. Like, I think a lot of people would put it in their top, like, I know some people who would put it in their, like, top 5, but I mean...
Let me put it to you this way. The first Iron Man movie is the only superhero movie that has a Ghostface Killer cameo, so it is one of the best.
Well, I mean...
For that reason alone.
Well, I mean, hey, Method Man was in Luke Cage. I mean, I guess
true.
that's a TV show.
Yeah.
But... Where was Ghostface in Iron Man 1?
Okay, so there was a whole music video for a song called Slept on Tony that Ghostface made, and it was supposed to be in the film. And he did the song for Sony, and right before the film came out, there was some kind of legal battle over the
name?
Use of a sample. No, use of a sample in the song, and they cut the scene, but he can still be seen in the film. When Tony's on his jet, the music video without sound is playing on the television in the background.
Oh, okay. That's actually... I never actually noticed that. That's pretty cool. That's a cool little tidbit fact. So, yeah, I think I'm really happy. I mean, there's not a lot of news. Obviously, Disney really keeps everything pretty close to the chest. But, hey, I don't see any problem with this idea to get Jon Favreau I'm going to actually say he's doing that Jungle Book movie is a tough job, man. You got to realize that whole thing was all on a green screen.
Yeah.
He filmed the whole thing in a studio. Like, that's it.
Yep.
And that movie came out so great. Like, that's tough. Plus, he directed that kid. You weren't very happy with the kid. I actually thought the kid did very well.
I thought the kid had the personality of a wet board.
I think that was the actual quote that you used whenever we talked about it on the old.
Oh, really?
I think that's actually the quote. If you went and found the old video where it is, but we wouldn't know where it is at all.
Okay.
So, we'll go on to the next topic, which is what's up with Batman? What the fuck is going on with Batman right now? Matt Reeves, who is set to direct the movie, we haven't heard anything about it. And I know we just said earlier in the podcast that sometimes no news is good news, but there's nothing coming out. We don't know if Ben Affleck is going to be in the movie. There's Matt Reeves saying that this movie is separate from the DCEU. There's also parts where he's saying that they don't have a script yet. Then there's parts where Matt Reeves is on the project, and then there's people saying, there's rumors that saying he's off, but then he comes back and says, no, I'm still doing it. Then there's rumors that he was looking at possibly recasting Batman as Jake Gyllenhaal. Like, this is getting fucking crazy to me. It's like
more development hell from the DC cinematic universe.
Yeah, Matt Reeves is such a good director too. You have this great talent. Like, this is the perfect opportunity to just reboot it and start it fresh. Not having, look. I know that Superman is the centerpiece to the DCEU and the DC universe in general. I think, though, it's time to just kind of realize that Superman isn't as popular. I just think it would be smarter to make Batman the centerpiece.
Batman is more popular.
He's more popular, but that's not necessarily the reason why you make him the centerpiece. Because, like, they need to work a balance where how, like, Iron Man is the centerpiece to the Avengers, but how Captain America is really like the centerpiece. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, like Captain America is a stronger focus than Tony Stark in the Avengers, even though Tony Stark is the centerpiece of the Avengers.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. They need to work that balance with Batman and Superman, I think. And honestly, I'm one of those people that kind of think that DC shouldn't just copy Marvel, because Marvel's doing their thing. DC needs to figure out their own. I'm fine if you want to do the cinematic universe.
Yeah, I don't want them to be a carbon copy of Marvel either. I just want them to be fucking not shit like they are.
Yeah, they're just struggling, and it sucks because I think Ben Affleck as Batman was great. Regardless of what I thought of Batman vs. Superman and Justice League, which I actually overall enjoy Justice League. I love the incarnation. It's so funny because I hate Batman v Superman. Love the incarnation of Batman. Overall, like Justice League,
hate the
incarnation of Batman in it. They just can't keep their focus.
Yeah.
So, like, what the hell? Matt Reeves has made, like, statements it ain't, like, they were, like, rumors about him leaving, and then he posted, it ain't so. Like, I'm still doing this. But they just can't get this underway.
Yeah.
They like, I'm wondering if they're working on this Shazam and trying to see how this does, but they're still filming Shazam. Like, you don't have a script? Like, you got this director, but you can't get a script nailed down about what... I think it's because they're just in limbo right now. They just don't know what the hell they're doing. And I want them to do this.
I mean, yeah,
right.
I think that's probably correct, that they don't know whether they even want to continue down this avenue.
Maybe what they might try to do is decide... what they could do is see how Aquaman does. And if Aquaman is successful, like on Wonder Woman level, they'll probably keep trudging along. But if Aquaman flops, maybe they'll decide what they want to do with this Matt Reeves Batman. But I mean, they can't tie up Matt Reeves forever on this Batman thing. They have a great director, and they work with him. Like that dude did the War for the Planet of the Apes and the what was the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes?
Yeah.
And like, those are great movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of think that you got this great guy. He did Cloverfield, and he did Let Me In, which I actually really like Let Me In. So, I mean, what can they, I think they're going to lose Matt Reeves eventually. I just think
that's a possibility.
I think the dysfunction and
I think we should go back and reconstruct our statement of no news is good news, because really no news after bad news is bad news.
Well, I think can we just say that no news is good news whenever it's not talking about Warner Brothers and their DC properties?
Well, no, I just think in general, like,
because you're not hearing shit about this Shazam movie.
Yeah, think about this: if the last thing that you hear about something is bad news,
yes,
and then you hear no news for a long time,
that's bad.
That's bad. If the last thing you hear is good news and you hear no news for a long time, it's really up in the air. It's probably good news.
It's probably good.
So
that's fair. That's a fair assessment of it.
That's what I mean. So no news is good news as long as the last thing that you didn't hear was bad news.
Yes, I think that's fair to say. The other thing I just wanted to throw about, now I don't typically like talking about stuff like this. It's still part of the same topic, but I thought I would talk about it just a little bit, was that they talked to Carl Urban about the possibility of playing it, which I don't know why. Let me see if I can find exactly what they asked him that he made these statements. Let me see. Just in the rumors just sprung up to take on Bruce Wayne. Oh, there was just rumors that, like, hey, Carl Urban might actually be the one up for the Matt Reeves Batman role. And his quote was, "As far as Batman goes, I guess my favorite Batman movie was The Dark Knight. Christopher Nolan's just an extraordinary director, and I thought Christian Bale was a fantastic Batman. And obviously with such talent like Heath Ledger, that was a perfect comic book movie right now. So I don't know. I'm open to any and all opportunities." And you were just like kind of talking about, we were just kind of bullshitting with it, and I'm like, you know what? Carl Urban would be a really good Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I would love Carl Urban, because I adore Carl Urban. I think what he brings to, like, those Star Trek movies, you didn't watch the Star Trek movies, I know that, but
no, but I'll trust
what he brings to a movie is so great. He was really good character in Thor Ragnarok. You did not see that yet, but I'm sure you'll see it soon. And he was also ridiculously good in Dredd.
Yeah.
Which
I think they're making a second Dredd movie.
That's so up in the air right now.
Yeah.
Like, they can't pinpoint it. And it was really tough because Dredd bombed, but it's since gained like a cult following. I could see maybe a TV show.
Which is exactly what happened with the original movie, didn't it? Didn't it bomb in theaters and then?
Yeah, but that also bombed because it was a shitty movie.
Fuck you. Double whammy is one of the best lines in film history.
Get the fuck out of here. Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you. Really? You
I just love that double whammy line.
Oh, you just like the double whammy sign?
Yeah, because his gun splits vertically and then 2 bullets come out like this.
Well, to people who are doing the audio, they completely go in opposite directions.
So the gun splits vertically, and then the bullets like diverge at a 45-degree angle horizontally from the gun.
Yeah,
it makes no sense. And what happens before the gun splits in half is he goes double whammy, and then it just goes. It's the fucking worst line in the whole film, and it's my favorite line in the whole film.
Here's what we were talking about a little earlier. I was like, hey Adam, did you hear about when we were just talking about the show notes? And I'm like, well, Matt Reeves was talking about Jake Gyllenhaal as possibly being a new Batman, and your reaction was
no,
you don't like that.
No,
and why?
He's got a baby face, and he's better. I mean, you said it yourself, and I agree with you that he's better in multiple things.
Yes, Jake Gyllenhaal is a great actor. I love Jake Gyllenhaal. Now, I could totally. He can also get really jacked really easily. If you didn't see Southpaw, that he's ripped in that movie. But I have no problem with Jake Gyllenhaal if they decide to go like Batman Year One and they start him
as a younger Batman.
Yeah, they have to do another origin for Batman, but they need to knock it off with the origin every time they reboot it. Just do what like Spider-Man: Homecoming did and just kind of I got bit by a spider.
It happened. We covered this before, but you didn't see it because this is
we don't need it. Yeah, we don't need it. We all know. So I'd be fine with Jake Gyllenhaal if he was going to be a young Batman, and they move him on. But my argument to it kind of was, I'd much rather prefer someone on the talent and underappreciation of Karl Urban get the job of Batman and let Jake Gyllenhaal go and do these great one-off movies that he does. Yeah. Nightcrawler, Stronger, Prisoners. Dude, Prisoners is so fucking ridiculously well acted. Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal just fucking kill that movie. That is such a great movie. But, and I actually, not a hot take, but I'm going to say I actually don't have a problem with the Prince of Persia movie. I actually thought that was actually a decent movie. And Jake Gyllenhaal, he's just super talented. But yeah, I'd much rather someone like Karl Urban, who is also extremely talented, who gets a lot of roles as a side character in a lot of his movies, but he does when Karl Urban is in a movie, I know that Karl Urban always brings an A game to it.
Yeah.
And same thing with Jake Gyllenhaal. But I just think I'm like, oh, Karl Urban is like,
he doesn't get much other work.
Yeah, he gets some work, but not enough that he deserves, I think. Yeah. And like when he does a great thing like Dredd, like he could have been one of those people that been like kind of like Sylvester Stallone in Judge Dredd, like, I want my face to be seen in the movie type of thing. Yeah. Karl Urban never takes off the helmet in Dredd. He just rocks it the whole time. And a lot of people would flip out because that's one of my biggest pet peeves with comic book movies, mostly with Spider-Man, is somehow they always have to find a way for Spider-Man's mask to fall off. I hate that. Like, or every single movie poster shows Iron Man without his face. It's always the armor and then Tony Stark's face. Or Captain America, where he's not wearing the helmet, he's just always his face. Do you know what I'm saying with that? Mm-hmm. So I would also be much more okay with that because Karl Urban clearly is just more like...
He doesn't care. He's interested in playing the role.
Yeah, he wants to play the role to the best of his ability.
Yeah.
And, dude,
maybe that's why he doesn't get cast in much shit, because he's not out there, like, trying to whore himself out.
Maybe. That might be true. I mean, but he's super talented, and I hope that he would get the Batman role. I think that's such a good choice. When you mentioned that, you're like, oh, did you hear about Karl Urban maybe be Batman? I'm like, let me look into that. I was looking, I'm like, man, I'm like thinking back how jacked he was now, mind you, he's wearing a bunch of armor in Thor Ragnarok, but he's huge. That took me you watch that movie, when you eventually watch it, you'll be like, holy shit, is that Karl Urban? Like, he's bald, he has his head cut.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, that's Karl Urban right there? That's insane. That's Bones from Star Trek? Weird. But I'm DC just really needs to get their shit together. But hey, if Matt Reeves is ever listening to the Guys Talking About Shit podcast, which I know he's a fan, I'm sure he's one of those 24 subscribers we got. But hey, you may want to look into Carl Urban. He's a pretty talented guy, and he seems like a nice guy too. So think about it. Okay, Adam, we're gonna go on to our last subject, and we're also gonna stick into the realm of comic books again, where we're gonna talk about Mark Millar, who is the creator of Kick-Ass, the comic book series, which I love. Mark Millar's Kick-Ass franchise. It's such a great, such a cool genre film, comic book. Yeah. Very different and very funny and just gruesome but has some heart to it as well. Yeah. It's a great thing. He had some comments that he was talking about why the DC universe just does not work as a film property. So I'm going to read his quote, and then we're just going to, do what we do best on this podcast. Talk about it. Shit. Talk about the shit of it. He says, Mark Millar, the comic book creator, says, I think it's really simple. The characters aren't cinematic, and I say this is as a massive DC fan who much prefers their characters to Marvel's. Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman are some of my favorites, but I think these characters, with the exception of Batman, they aren't based around their secret identity. They are based around their superpower. Whereas the Marvel characters tend to be based around the personality of Matt Murdock or Peter Parker or the individual X-Men. It's all about the character. DC, outside of Batman, is not about the character. With Batman, you can understand him and you can worry about him. But someone like Green Lantern, he has this ring that allows him to create 3D physical manifestations and green plasma with the thoughts of his head. But he's allergic to the color yellow. How do you make a movie with that? In 1952, that made sense, but now the audiences have no idea what that's about. People will slam me for this, but I think the evidence is there. We've seen great actors, we've seen great writers, we've seen great directors, tons of money thrown at them, but these films aren't working. I think they're all too far away from when they were created. Something feels a little old about them. Kids look at these characters and they don't feel that cool. Even Superman. I love Superman, but he belongs to an America that doesn't exist anymore. He represents 20th century America, and I think he peaked then. Wow, that's a mouthful. Can't believe I got through that without his stuttering.
I can't believe he validated stuff that I've been saying for years.
You say you've been saying this for years, but I only
I'll pull it up.
I'll pull
it up. I got a little bit of an announcement to make at the end, anyways. But what have you been? I've been saying for a long time that
air quotes
DC characters are stuck in the 1950s, diffusing circle-shaped black bombs.
Okay,
they all are.
I don't believe that. I really don't. I'm not saying his comments are necessarily wrong. You need,
and then he's talking about how they're stuck in this old thing. Remember, Marvel almost went bankrupt. I've talked about this multiple times and had to reinvent themselves in the 90s. They're much closer to the modern now. They're
and then most people consider that the Marvel universe in the 90s was terrible. Most people usually argue that. They reinvented themselves with stuff like the animated X-Men cartoon and the animated, they were doing a really good job with their animated properties. But
I'm saying
I don't
DC never had that problem. I think they're coming up on that problem now.
No, I just kind of disagree. You can adapt a character. Just because a character was diffusing bombs...
And they're not finding the right people to adapt it.
They're not getting the right writers. Clearly, I agree with Mark Millar on this. I prefer the DC Universe characters. They're great. Their comics are great. I don't understand why we can't... Aquaman, they did such a great retreading of Aquaman in the New 52 line and making this character about... He's dumbing down, you can make good stories out of the simplicity of these characters. Is that kind of what you're saying, that these characters are just too simplistic?
I'm saying, a lot of the DC characters are two-dimensional.
I don't understand, Like you can
Superman
make if I explain the plot of Superman, you should be able to make a good story about that.
There's only 2 bigger Mary Sues than Superman in any property, and it's fucking Luffy from One Piece and Goku from Dragon Ball. Those are the only 2 bigger Mary Sues in any property ever. And that's what I'm saying. Superman is a fucking 2-dimensional character.
No, but I think that's the thing. You can get out of that realm of like an alien whose home is destroyed, comes to Earth and has to deal with the duality of having a family, a normal life, and being this superpowered god, which I feel like Man of Steel tried very much to do, but it just wasn't handled right. I actually don't hate Man of Steel.
I don't think that he's saying that it's not possible. I'm saying that he's saying, and that
he's kind of saying, and he's saying,
they need to stop being a 2-dimensional character. They need to give these characters more nuance and more depth.
That's true. I mean,
you can't just go, Superman has all these badass powers and, defeated the biblical Samson and, defeated Darkseid, whatever the fuck you want to put him up against.
But I think that's the thing. I thought Man of Steel, there were parts of Man of Steel where I was like, man, this movie is really, there are parts to Man of Steel that are really good. Like, I loved in Man of Steel, like when he's talking with anytime he talks with Kevin Costner. Did you see Man of Steel?
No.
Oh.
I'm not interested in any of the DC film universe because I've heard nothing but bad things about anything but
in Man of Steel, there are parts in Man of Steel that are actually like really good, as I keep saying this. I keep repeating it. But any scene with him as being a kid and dealing with as he starts becoming Superman, it's really good. It's really, really good. Like, I love like the beginning of I hate the beginning of Man of Steel where they're on Krypton. I thought that was stupid. I hated that. But then I loved seeing Clark as a kid growing up and him being this like wanderer type of guy. I really liked that. And then when he starts finding himself, but then at the end it just kind of turns into a big clusterfuck fight scene, which was cool, but like the dialogue was bad. But any time they dealt with him as a human character, I really liked Man of Steel. But that's why I'm like a 50-50 on how I feel about Man of Steel. And then there was crap like they did it with the Dark Knight trilogy with Batman, but I guess in this article he kind of excludes Batman from the discussion.
Yeah, because he thinks that they've done well with Batman. And I would agree with
all
of the Batman films except for Forever and Robin. I would say they did pretty well with.
Well, yeah, but I wouldn't even say that. They did it in the original 1989 Batman, where they kind of talk about, his psyche and stuff like that. But we're not talking about Batman. I understand that, like the original Richard Donner Superman and stuff like that. Those are good movies, but yeah, they don't hold up. Like Superman as a character doesn't hold up very well in today's standpoint, but you can adjust him. You don't have to make them dark and gritty.
He's saying that these characters need to evolve. They need to go through their process that Marvel went through in the 90s, the reinvention. A lot of these characters need that.
Well, I'm hoping that they can kind of do that with. Can they do it with Aquaman? A man who is torn between his duty as being king of a society that he's never been a part of, and being a human, which is what he knows best. And I understand, like, you can adapt that to modern times. Yeah, they don't have to be diffusing bombs, but and please don't reinvent Aquaman by giving him the goddamn hook hand. Like,
don't do stupid shit either.
Yeah,
that's
don't try to make him overly badass. Just, that's the problem. Is I understand what Mark Miller's saying, that you're having a lot of difficulty connecting with these characters because it's just, hey, look how heavy this object is and how Superman can lift it. Look how strong he is. Look at what he can make with his mind. I get that part.
Yeah.
Then make better stories that make the characters. You can make that.
Yeah.
You can make a movie where the powers are secondary compared to the person using them. You can do that. I think. And
I don't want to sit here and just ride Marvel's PP. But because I don't even feel like they do it with all their characters. Some of their characters, I mean, fucking their version of Quicksilver, they just killed instantly.
Yeah.
There was no character development at all. They're like, here he is, now he's dead.
Yeah, and I think that like they did a really good job with Black Panther, crossed that $1 billion mark finally.
Yeah.
Black Panther did a great job with the character development. Captain America did a great job with character development. They've even done a lot more character development with someone like who should be perfect example. If you're able to do it with the Hulk, you should be able to do it with Superman. You should be able to do that. Guy who gets angry and breaks shit by how strong he is and how angry he is. But they're even making him better. And I honestly think that the DC animated universe, the ones with Justice League, the TV show, that was all character. You never sat there.
Yeah, there was a lot of character development in that TV series.
So I don't think it's impossible.
No,
and I don't think it's the character's fault. I just think it's who's running them right now.
Yes.
That's my biggest thing. It's who's running the properties. Now, they have that guy who did all the Conjuring films running it, but if you have these higher-up guys working on these properties saying, we're X-naying this, you can't do this, you can't do this. I'm not saying 100% give directors 100% creative control, because that's stupid, because you're funding their shit.
Yeah.
It's your movie. They're just directing.
But no, you're right. Warner Brothers has their finger in every fucking pie all the time, and they do in their fucking video game division too.
Yeah, and they need to get their hands a little out of there.
Yeah.
Because somehow they just I don't know how it happened, but they just let Patty Jenkins take Wonder Woman and make it great.
Yeah.
Take a character who is pretty much defined that she is a woman and she is strong, and turned her into a very sympathetic character by making it a bit more character-driven story. They kind of did the trope of the fish out of water type of thing, but they had good side characters.
It doesn't matter. You can have tropes in your films if you do them well.
Yeah, and you want to know what always works the best is whenever they have good side characters. Take crappy side characters. Like, they should have done more with Jeremy Irons as Alfred. I forget that we're not talking about Batman, but do you know what I'm saying? Like, they should have had him have more interactions with Bruce and humanize him. The side characters who are humans, who have to see these gods.
Yeah, they're not props.
Stop
they're
treating your side
beings.
characters as props, because they're side characters that emphasize and help the main
drive the story.
Yes. You can have, big problem is that you had Kevin Costner as Pa Kent, but then he gets killed by a tornado. And you don't have him the rest of the film, and he was that thing that maybe you should keep these powers secret. And then you have Russell Crowe, who is his dead dad, and I just feel like he was completely wasted in Man of Steel. And then you had his mom, who was barely there. I barely even saw her. And then you had the great actress of what is her name? Amy Adams. There we go.
Yeah.
Amy Adams. I'm back. Amy Adams did not work as Lois Lane. Just did not work. It just didn't fit. She's a great actress, but just Zack Snyder built the foundation of the DCEU, and Zack Snyder mostly is a action type of guy. There are places for directors like Zack Snyder's and a Michael Bay, but they aren't in the story-driven thing. And when your whole entire franchise, I think, is built off of, hey, we have a director who knows how to really do action scenes really well, and this is going to be the most cool, dark Superman ever. And then you kind of lose it on the story halfway through. I'm telling you, though, the parts
or in casting Mark Zuckerberg to play.
Oh, yeah. That's... Yeah. I hate Batman v Superman so fucking much. That's, I think, where the issue is in the DC universe, is that, one, it was set off in a really bad way.
Yeah.
And it started off bad, and it was very mixed. And then you just got the same guy to just do the same thing for the sequel for Batman v Superman. And then you're like, what the fuck is this? This is terrible. This is a piece of shit. And then you were like,
where's all the character development?
Yeah.
Look how awesome it is when he gets punched.
That's what Batman v Superman was. Man of Steel had aspects of that could have worked. And it was working for me at some points. Yeah. But man, they just, I'm going to disagree with Mark Millar that it's not possible, if that's what he's saying.
I don't feel like he is saying it's not possible.
But
And I don't think that I'm saying that it's not possible either. I'm saying that that's where things are right now.
I think he says comments like, even Superman, I love Superman, but he belongs to America that doesn't exist anymore. He represents 20th century America, and I think he peaked then. I think
he's talking about this specific iteration of Superman. I don't think he's talking... what's the word? But you know what I mean. What he's saying is not the end of the discussion.
But he also says at the beginning, I think it's really simple. The characters aren't cinematic.
Yeah, as they are now, he feels like if
he is mentioning that,
I guess I'm just not taking it as the end of the conversation with him. I'm taking it as he's starting a conversation there. You see what I'm saying?
What?
I'm taking what he's saying as the beginning of a conversation about these issues. I'm not taking it as the end of the conversation on these issues.
That's fine. Yeah, I just and I could be I don't know what the question was kind of like. Is he talking about the current films, or is he just talking about the characters in general? Because I think that if he's talking about the characters in general, I think that's completely bullshit, because we've seen good Superman movies been made.
Oh yeah, and there is Superman content and Wonder Woman content and all these, that has character-driven narratives. Problem is that it's not the stuff that most people know. Yeah,
but like you could have made Suicide Squad a super interesting movie, but you turned it into the Harley Quinn show.
Yeah.
Like I don't give a shit about Deadshot and his fucking kid. It was the Margot Robbie show. Not a bad thing to have the Margot Robbie show, but in a thing where Suicide Squad, a lot of the reason why Suicide Squad works as a comic, and even in the TV, and even in the animated version of Suicide Squad, were the characters.
Yeah.
I shouldn't give a shit about Killer Frost as a character, but I was like, there's a scene in the animated Suicide Squad movie where Killer Frost is about to make an escape in a car, but Bane throws another cop car on it and like it hits it, but you never find out what happens to her. You know how when you have a good character is whenever after the movie I go, hey, does anyone know if she was technically considered dead in that?
Yes, that's a perfect point too.
Yes.
If you ever watch anything that's part of a universe of connected films or shows or whatever, and you go and look up more information after you see something, who is this character supposed to be that they
That's
showed?
how you know that you did something right.
Yes, because you generated interest that goes beyond the consumption of your media.
Exactly, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, what happened? There was a character in the show, in the movie, named Killer Shark, and him and like Killer Frost have this like nice rapport with each other that they're kind of like they work off of each other. When he gets his head blown off, he's dead. That sucks, but I was like, Killer Shark, what's up with him? Like, But when I'm looking up, is this character dead in this franchise? Could she come back in another movie? Exactly. That's how you know that you've done something. Yeah. And a character like Killer Frost? Fuck!
Yeah, it's the lamest name ever.
Yeah. Yeah, she was a great character in that movie. She was cool. She was she just oozed like sexy, powerful, cunning, smart. Like, I loved her character.
Yeah.
And they did a great job with Harley Quinn in that incarnation. But that's I think the problem with it is just they're not making these characters interesting enough.
Interesting or relatable, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, Adam, that is the end of the show. So let's just go on. Where can people find us?
Fuck that. Hold on a second.
You always do this shit on the show where I'm just trying to close it out and you're like, nope, I got something I gotta say. Every time. What do you have to say now?
I'm thinking about going through some of our old shows and just picking out the good bits, like the War Horse story and the stuff that's super funny, and like, just releasing some like GTAS classic clips.
Oh, you want to go and edit?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking about doing that.
What, you just gonna send them to me and I'll upload them as like GTAS classics?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, we can do that.
GTAS classic bits.
Yeah.
Audio only. Those won't be available though on. Those will not be.
Yeah, those will be YouTube
but
exclusive.
let's come out and let's just say it. We finally got on there.
iTunes.
We are officially on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. At the bottom of the video, we have the link for any option that works best for you. I just wanted to get the
normal stuff.
The normal stuff, and something that's just not just strictly if you don't have an Apple phone, or something that you just can't access iTunes and you prefer to do it on an Android or something like that. And I just wanted to get a little bit more diversity on there. So we have 3 different options for you that I feel like are very common. If I can get more, I might, but I think those 3 right now are the best.
Yeah.
But
I'd assume most people are using Google Play or iTunes.
Yeah. So they're there for you. So if you prefer to have us in your phone or on your iPod, if you have an iPod still, I think I'm one of the few that still does. But yeah, very easy to download.
I would if they were worth owning anymore.
I love my iPod.
I know you have an old one though.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
That's what I'm saying. You can't go out and buy a fucking good Apple device anymore.
Oh yeah, no, that's my original. I think that's my original 180 gig version. Mm-hmm. Yep. So,
but anyways,
yeah, Adam, where else can they find us?
As usual, they can find us right here on YouTube. You're watching this video either embedded on Facebook, Twitter, or on our YouTube page. So you can go ahead and just click the video itself, and it should take you to our YouTube page if you aren't already there. Again, our Facebook, which is www.facebook.com/GTAS podcast, and Twitter, which is www.twitter.com/GTAS podcast.
Mm-hmm. And once again, like if you guys ever have a certain comment we always try to respond to our comments usually. If you have a topic that you would like to discuss on the show or a question that you would like us to answer on the show, leave it in the comment section below. We'll definitely answer it on the show if you would like. Don't forget to like and share this video if you think anybody else might kind of dig the podcast. I've heard some people really enjoy the podcast that I know who would actually tell me that they hate it if they really did. I have some people who said that just they don't like it, but
which is fine. If you don't like it, you don't have to like us.
Yeah, we're just doing that. Yeah, we just do this because we like doing it.
It's like a hobby.
Yeah, it's a little hobby we like to just do and change things up a little bit for the common week-to-week days.
Yeah.
So if you guys, once again though, the support and love, we've officially beaten our old record.
Yeah.
We did today. Just today,
yeah. It just happened actually 6 minutes before we started recording.
Yeah, 6 minutes before we started recording. We hit 24 subscribers. So that's fucking awesome to me.
24 really awesome people. I think our Facebook is up to, 65?
I think it's at 63 still,
63?
but we're having a lot more engagement.
How's our Twitter doing?
Our Twitter, I think 30 some subscribers or followers. We have officially, let's see, we have 36 followers.
Cool.
Yeah, and I get a couple people who like our stuff, and
we get some comments on YouTube.
Yeah, and
listen, if we see a video that you made, we might interact with your channel.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
If you guys are making content and stuff like that, that's fine with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I usually try to refrain from commenting, but if Adam will probably be doing something like that. I usually try to refrain from commenting on. I like people's videos, but I usually refrain from commenting. But if Adam gets on the train, maybe I'll jump on that too. I like replying to people more so.
Yeah, Bobby likes people to come to him.
Yeah, I'm a very shy person. Like, this is probably the most abnormal thing I do. Like, people are like, really? You put
all your flubs and fuck ups on YouTube and you're like, I'm a shy person.
I am a shy person though. Like, I am, but you remember when we would work at the Exchange? I was completely different at the Exchange whenever I was working compared to whenever I was outside in public. Like, if you take me to a social event, I'm usually pretty shy. Usually. Depends. How much alcohol did I have prior to that? That's usually what
breaks down Bobby's veil.
Mm-hmm. So
I'm kind of like that too. I like to observe people before I engage with them.
Yeah, you're a real shy. You're more shy than I am. You're much more shy than I am.
Yeah.
But hey, but once again, thank you for everybody for listening. And I'm Bob Rusin. Do you not know your name?
Fuck you. No.
I'm Bob Rusin.
I'm Adam Miller.
And until next time, farewell.